What's up, guys? It's TJ with you. Welcome to my YouTube channel / podcast. Thanks for tuning in to hear all about muscle mass and why it's important to have muscle. A lot of people think that having muscle is just for looking good and being able to lift things and that's it, just the physical aspects, the physical appearance. But having muscle mass is actually super beneficial for our health all around, inside and out, and that's what we're going to talk about briefly today. So I hope that you guys learned something good, learned something new, and that you're more motivated to put on muscle, to do the things that you need to do. So let's start with the first thing. So with muscle mass and actually testing how much muscle mass you have, it's good to go ahead and use what's called a SMART scale. So of course you have the regular scales, which just tell you your weight and that's it, just 150 pounds, whatever. But of course that doesn't tell you much. So I'll add a link here below about a scale called a Renpho scale that I use. It's a very affordable, cheap smart scale that you can get off Amazon. It's like $30, and so that'll help you to gauge where you're at with your body, how much body fat percentage you have, how much muscle mass. So this thing is very helpful. So I'll include that link below. And of course, it's not going to be 100% accurate compared to super high-end tests, but really what really matters is you're using the same thing consistently to see what is going to help. So for example, I use a Renpho scale, I have for years, and I use that even though it's not 100% accurate, and I'm sure it's off by at least a little bit. At least I'm being consistent. I can see how I can build muscle, what is causing me to lose muscle. So hopefully you get the idea. Get you a smart scale that is helpful so you can stay consistent and see what's really going on within your body. And so there's of course certain percentages that we can look at here. So for men, on the low end, it would be 33% muscle mass. On the average, you would want 33 to 39. The higher end, more fit people, fit men, would be in the 40 to 44% of muscle mass, and the very high end would be the 45%. So for me, for example, I don't remember exactly what my percentage is, but I know I have about 150 pounds out of 190 pounds that makes up my body. So about 150 that is muscle mass, and so that is a lot. So of course the numbers don't get too crazy about the numbers here, but it's something to shoot for, to help us to have a healthy comparison to the average population, but be able to keep pushing ourselves more and more, because this is a fitness journey. The fitness journey is within. It's about ourselves. How can we do better each day? And let's go over the statistics real quick for women, just so everyone here who's watching and listening can have a good idea of where they're at and what to shoot for. So the low end for a woman would be a 24% of muscle mass. Average would be around 24 to 30%. The higher end, more fit females, would have 31 to 36% muscle mass, and the very high would be 36% and more. So again, as for men, it's 45% more. For women, it's 36% more. So that way, we have some numbers we could maybe shoot for if that's what we need right now to get us to be motivated. But again, remember, make healthy comparisons. Don't be comparing yourselves to people all day. Just you're ultimately comparing yourself to yourself. What can I do better? Don't worry about other people. Other people are gonna change, other people are gonna do whatever they want. But this is about you, and this is about your own fitness journey. All right, so let's get into the nitty gritty of why it's important to have muscle mass, at least some muscle mass, so we can have these benefits. So first one is increased metabolic rate. Now, if you're someone who's really looking to lose fat, this is a game changer, because as I was coaching my father yesterday, actually, we were talking about this very thing. When the more muscle you have, the more it actually burns energy for you. So even if you're just sitting down, your muscle is burning energy, because your muscle is what is called expensive tissue, meaning that it takes a lot of fuel to maintain muscle. So for maintaining and gaining muscle, you got to eat adequate amounts of protein, give or take around the goal body weight that you want to be every day. So for example, my goal body weight right now is a little over 190, which means I eat, give or take, close to 195 grams of protein a day. Of course, that doesn't mean every day I get exactly that. It depends on how much I'm tracking it, but it's a good goal to shoot for. And to maintain and gain this muscle, you'll need adequate protein. And as you gain and maintain muscle mass, then of course that's going to eat up more energy for you. The muscle burns more energy than fat does. So just sitting around with a bunch of fat isn't going to do as much, but sitting around with a bunch of muscle, so let's say you worked out in the morning, you're at your desk job, you're sitting there for your 9 to 5, even then with your muscles just being there, it's go ahead and burning energy for you. So that's a plus. You can get away with eating a little more junk food if you need to, and you can burn more fat. So next thing is improved insulin sensitivity. So this is important because we want our blood sugar to be controlled. if we have a more controlled blood sugar, it reduces the risk of type 2 diabetes and many other things. So for example, scientists are looking at even things like Alzheimer's and its connectivity with issues of blood sugar. So having not uncontrolled blood sugar, having it going up, super down, all over the place is not good, and it can wreak havoc on many organs of our body. So it's very important to be able to be putting on muscle so we can have that increased sensitivity to insulin. So that way, even when we do eat junk food, then our blood sugar can be more controlled and we can get away with it a little more. This is not saying that you should put on the muscle and just eat junk all day, but what I'm saying is that when you're putting on muscle, you can reward yourself occasionally with a sweet treat and know that you're not going to face the negative consequences as much because you have that muscle mass. So make sure that the goal is putting on muscle mass, not eating junk food. But of course, that junk food can be considered a treat for you as you go through the fitness journey. All right, let's see what's next here. So next we have better performance and strength. So of course, more muscle means more strength. You can lift more. Doing things like room finisher is way easier for me now than it was many years ago. And of course, my performance is better. As you practice certain lifts, certain exercises, then of course your form is gonna get better, and it's gonna get less and less awkward as you put on more muscle to build more strength. So it's good to have muscle just for that aspect, or especially with sports. If you like sports, and of course lifting weights, calisthenics, all this stuff to build muscle is gonna help you in the long run as far as playing sports. It'll also help you not injure yourself. So that's the next point here, is that your chances of injury with whatever you're doing is going to be way less having more muscle, because of course your muscle is its strength. It's keeping you from having your head hit the floor when you fall over. You can catch yourself with your arm, or maybe having a strong core, strong lower back, strong abs helps you not fall down in the first place, helps you keep your balance a little better. Or let's put it this way, if you can deadlift 200 pounds 10, 15 times, then lifting a 30-pound toddler is going to be easy peasy. So hopefully you get the idea. You're not going to be throwing your lower back, grabbing your toddler all day. And so more muscle, less injury basically is what I'm trying to say here. Next up, we got bone density. So bone density is huge because just like with injury prevention, our bones, of course, can either be very strong or very weak. And especially as we get older, we might lose some of that bone density as we age. And so we want to keep muscle on so that way we can also keep our bones strong. And so, of course, as we're lifting, as we're putting on muscle, maintaining muscle, then of course we're going to be also maintaining and putting on bone density. So those things are very important, and they go hand in hand. Strong bones, strong muscles, we want all of it, of course. All right, next up, we got hormonal and immune benefits. And so, of course, we want good hormones. We want all the hormones that we know of, right? All the popular ones, testosterone, estrogen, all those. We want those to be not only high, but in good balance, not too high, of course. And so testosterone for men and women, of course, is very important, very big. And lifting weights, calisthenics, exercise, all plays a big role in testosterone production. So we want to make sure that we have the right hormones going on. And exercise is really important for also helping us maintain cortisol throughout the day and help us to alleviate stress. So of course we go into the gym or wherever we work out, we give it our all, we release a lot of different stress hormones, but afterwards it helps us to let those stress levels decline. And when you start your day just lifting, putting yourselves through an uncomfortable situation, such as lifting heavy weights or a lot of push-ups or whatever it is, then of course everything else in your day just comes easier. And so exercise is very good at helping our hormones, also is very good with our immune system. So when we exercise, we release a lot of good hormones that help our immune system and keep our immune system working very well. And we want that, especially with different colds and different things going on. We want our immune system to be very strong and very good. Also, when we exercise, we release what's called myokines. And hopefully I'm saying this right. I've never actually said it out loud. I read all about them. But myokines help our inflammation response to be lowered. And so exercise is very important to make sure, or muscle mass in general and exercise is very important to make sure that we're keeping the inflammation lower than we need it to be throughout the day. So of course there's some inflammation with putting on muscle, building muscle, ripping up our microfibers in muscle. And so that, of course, inflammation does need to happen. Inflammation is a natural process for a lot of things. So I'm not saying we don't need inflammation, but we also don't want inflammation too high. And so exercising, putting muscle, releasing these myokines is very helpful for that. So it's good to be able to have our body have a more controlled inflammation response. And lastly, so more muscle is less anxiety, less depression. there's plenty of studies out there you can read about exercise and putting on muscle and its effects on depression and anxiety. So of course it might be easier for some, and I know it's easier for me sometimes. I'm laying in bed, I haven't even done anything yet. I'm thinking, oh shoot, I gotta do this. My heart rate goes up, my blood pressure goes up. I start thinking all these thoughts of things that aren't even probably even gonna happen. I'm thinking the worst case scenario for certain things. But then I go out, I lift weights, and during and after the exercise routine, I'm looking at myself, I'm like, man, I put myself in a comfortable situation. I put on some more muscle, I'm maintaining a good physique, and I feel good about myself. I know I can achieve whatever it is I gotta face for the day. And so exercise, putting on muscle, just that whole process is very good for your mental health, helping you to realize that you can be mindful of yourself and how your different thoughts work and how there's certain negative thoughts that aren't serving us well. So exercise helps us it's a meditation on our body to be able to see how strong we really are and how much potential we really have. So that's why I love to teach people a mix of meditation and exercise. That's why on this channel I help people increase mindfulness as well as muscle. And a lot of people don't think those things go together, but they do. Because if you do put those things together, then you'll have mindfulness not around your mentality, but your body. And those things are very connected because your body is a manifestation of your mind. All right, so anyway, guys, I hope you love those benefits about building muscle, putting on muscle, exercise. If you want to learn more, I have my book right here, How to Maximize Muscle Mass and Testosterone Levels. It's only $9.99 on Amazon as a paperback or digital copy, whatever you prefer. It basically has nearly everything that I learned for years as a personal trainer of helping different clients. I've managed to put it all into a book, and I've tried to do it as simply as I possibly can. I try to make it too difficult for readers to understand. So that book can be very helpful, very beneficial for you. All right, guys, go ahead and help me out. Like, subscribe if you really resonate with this video, so that way this can go up on the algorithm and help more people to realize what they could achieve if they could put on more muscle. And so, all right, guys, we'll see you. Have a good one.